What's up guys, it's SpongeBob Jr. and today we're going to be checking out the brand new upcoming Super Calm Imperialdramon Paladin mode. Try saying that 10 times fast. So let's start with his passive skill. So the passive skill on this guy is actually really cool, and I think it's going to shake things up a bit in the meta. So he decreases all enemies' tech damage resistance by 70%. He decreases all enemies' block by 60%. He gets 5 evades on himself, and he nullifies defense down, targeting all allies for 2 turns. That right there is the game changer. So up until this point, we've been seeing a lot of Susan, a lot of Golf, and even regular Super Brave Omega. So Susan and Omega have defense down on the entire team, on the entire opponent's team in their passive. Paladin mode cancels that out completely. It doesn't cancel the power or tech resistance down, however. So he's got a little bit of a defensive setup on this part of the skill. The other parts are offensive. So he's got minus 70% to the opponent's tech damage resistance. He's a tech character, so that's going to allow him to still get some damage in. And he's also got block down. So all the supers don't have that ignore block part of the skill that we saw before the supers came, and block has actually been kind of a thing. So with having the block down on the opponent's team, it's going to be similar to the whole ignore block. And then he's of course got the 5 stacks of evasion on himself, which is a lot. So I think the most we've seen so far is 3 or 4. But 5 stacks, I mean, it used to be better, right? But now EXs and a lot of main skills actually ignore either block or damage limit. So it's alright, but it does help out in a pinch. So let's check out his EX skill. Basically, the idea with this one is to clear all buffs or anything that could possibly inhibit damage and boost your own team at the same time. EX Omega Blade. It negates all enemies' power, tech, defense, and damage resist up. Really cool. Again, kind of common now, but clears everything, all buffs. Then we have negate all enemies' critical guard. So it's anti-crit, basically like Golf has on his EX or Gallant on his main, allowing you to clear the field of buffs. So you're going to get the full amount of damage in. You're going to get your crit multipliers. And then it also increases all allies tech by 90%. Hey, I like that. So this is almost kind of like a support skill, and it's going to enable you to hit pretty hard. It hits with 385 damage. That's not the biggest amount, but hey, this is literally the biggest clear and buff skill that we've had yet. So I actually really like this skill. It's pretty cool. So for his main skill, it reduces the buffs of targets by 5 turns, and this is 3 times applicable to a single target, so just 1, 1, and 1. It's got a 5 times damage crit multiplier, so that's pretty cool. It pairs well with his EX. It deals damage to opponent and their shield, so it's hitting through those shields, kind of getting rid of them. And then it ignores the damage limit, such as Omegamon. So I like this a lot because right now we have a lot of damage limits on the field. We have Magnamon, who has damage limits in his passive. We have Omega MM, who has 3 added damage limits in his EX. So easily 5, like at least. And then we have regular Omega that adds damage limits. So Jess Anniversary does this as well. So we have a lot of damage limits going on right now, and I really like this. So he's going to be able to hit through the damage limits, get his crit multiplier in, and that's a 364 damage to random enemies. So that would be like 1500 at least with the 5x. So that's going to hit pretty hard if it hits crit. So if you use this after his EX skill, that's going to be plus 90% tech. It's going to clear the field of all buffs. It's going to clear anti-crit. So you're going to be hitting with 1500, like at least 1500 damage. And then his tech will be boosted 90%. That's almost 2 times his original tech, and he's got a pretty solid amount of tech. So with it being Paladin mode, I kind of expected this to be even more broken, like all enemies and just nuke everybody. But hey, that's just me. This skill is still really good. So last but not least, we have his Subskill. It's going to be 1100 damage to 2 enemies, not bad. 70% chance to inflict paralysis on 2 enemy targets. It removes defense, power damage resistance, tech damage resistance down from all allies. So it resets your own team's buffs, or debuffs I should say. And it allows all allies to evade 2 times. So yeah, he's just pouring on that evasion on himself. 1100 is a pretty good amount of damage. Like, I'm kind of surprised. Well, I guess it's been kind of like that lately, but it's interesting that his Subskill is going to be hitting pretty hard. So yeah, it's pretty solid. Got some extra paralysis on there to kind of jump in with that status meta. But yeah, that's his skills. So let's check out some team composition ideas. So as far as your team setup goes, this guy is pretty versatile. I will say that obviously he's kind of tech focused, but even just his EX skill paired with his main skill, he kind of does all of that tech damage himself. So he boosts himself, he clears the opponent's team of buffs and anti-crit, and even drops their damage resistance by 70%. So he's kind of his own thing there. So he's kind of the answer to a couple of the meta units that we've been seeing. If you've been having trouble with your team getting obliterated by Susan, Paladin mode could help by preventing Susan's passive from being applied on game start. His passive also pairs extremely well with Omega MM's passive. So what we've been seeing is Golf and Susan pairing up and having some defense down while reducing attack. These guys together completely, well not completely, but mostly cancel those 2 passives out. So I'm really excited to get to use him in tandem with my MM, stick them on the same team together, and then just watch them hit hard. So in that setup, you could run like Heavy Leo, Omega MM, Paladin mode, Noble Pump, and then Susan. I think I would sub out Argo for Noble Pump just because I want more speed, but that's just me. I also don't have Noble Pump yet, but I might. He's also good for protecting Heavy Leo if you're trying to run a more tanky, tenacious type team. So you could run like Heavy Leo, Magna, Paladin mode, Argo, and then Susan, or even Golf in place of Argo to really just, help Heavy Leo just tank it out. I know I said Paladin mode is kind of the counter to Susan and Golf, but he's also not going to be every team. So you could have different setups for different opponents. And then finally, in a tech-based team, he is super calm. So in combo with UV, adding that cooldown, just allowing him to spam that main skill over and over. Yeah, he would just wreck. So that's pretty sick. In a calm type team, I would run Super UV. You could run Paladin mode, Susan, or even Super Beals. And then of course, Heavy Leo, Noble Pump. Yeah, that would be sick. I would even love to see a Paladin mode Craniumon X team. Or even, I would really want to see this, a Gallantmon X team with Paladin mode. I was really disappointed with how, I guess, bad Gal X is in Battle Park. I ended up pulling him. In my last video I said I was gonna be skipping that banner, but hey, I went in, I got caught up in it. So I pulled him. I pulled 2 actually. Try to run a Gallantmon X Leviamon team, with that new Super Levi we have. I actually like that guy. But yeah, if you have a team that runs Gal X and it's good, please let me know, because man, I was even disappointed and I thought he wasn't gonna be good. But yeah, so my idea for a Craniumon X team would be Crania X, Paladin mode, Heavy Leo, Noble Pump. So even right there, you're just tanking. And then Magna. Yeah, so Heavy Leo's just sponging those hits. Noble Pump is allowing for some more status. And then Craniumon X is just slapping on that poison while being boosted from Paladin mode's EX skill. So I actually think that would be sick, but we'll see if I'm able to build that. That's kind of what I was going for. Or even like some kind of Leviamon Crania X Paladin mode setup with that 90% boost to tech. Yeah, he's super useful. So I think Paladin mode is actually going to be really good. As I'm reading off his skills, he's going to be better, I think, than I thought he was going to be. He kind of does multiple things with just one character, so that's some value right there. I think I'm actually going to use diamonds for him. Yeah, I think I might just diamond up and pull him. That's about all I have to say about Imperialdramon Paladin mode. I hope you've enjoyed my review of him. If you have any cool team ideas, I'd love to hear about them in the comments. As always, thank you so much for watching my video. Until next time, I'll catch you in the battle park.